Okay. Air conditioning. It's a good thing. It is Saturday, July 8th, just before noontime. It's 79 degrees out. And that may finally be calming down as it's getting cloudier and cloudier. But I wanted to get out because last week I didn't film on Saturday. It was hot and miserable and supposed to be thunderstormy, so I said, well, I'll wait till Sunday. And Sunday came around and it rained all day, cool and rainy. So I apologize for no video last week, and a lot has happened in 2 weeks in the gardens. So look at this happy nasturtium. It is just spilling over. Pretty green water, along with the vinca vine mixed in. You can tell down here, and the hosta back here, getting the flower heads, nasturtium flowers starting. The campanula over here, little bells starting there, and the lilies getting flower heads on them. Speaking of lilies, back here through the campanula, we have the stargazer lilies in the back, and they have their flower heads started, but these are tiny. These are tiny. And I'm hoping they're going to keep growing and getting a lot bigger. There's these big, beautiful blossoms. All purple dragon has been blooming a lot, as well as the sweet William everywhere now. How about this side, Sebastian? So the bugleweed, look at how lush and full that is now all throughout here. It's spreading great. It's even spreading down beyond the stones. And now the Solomon seal is keeping the beds nice and cool and helping to retain moisture for everything. And the hosta. Actual flowers already starting. Nice big flower heads on this one. The deer have not come over to this one. And the hydrangea that we were so worried about from all of the frost damage. Let's start counting them. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, that's hosta, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, another one back in here, 14 flower heads. This stalk here, it was all completely new after the frost. And you still have some of the damaged leaves in here a little bit, but look at all nice, big, healthy. That is a happy plant. And there's actually on the back side there already getting color in on it. I'll see if I can get around the back side when I get over there, but this one too, look at all the color all up in there. This one down here, this is the one I had showed last week. That was the furthest along. Like 1 or 2 petals just starting to open. Here comes the sun. But same thing on this one, all little flower heads starting all over. So what was a worry is not a worry. Hi. Did I ever mention that he can jump into the back of the pickup truck on his own from the ground? Not over the lid, the tailgate, but if it's down, he jumps right up. So, campanula. Look at how beautiful. We were just sitting in the front room earlier, looking out the window at the garden over there, watching the bumblebees go in, each and every one. And unfortunately, the deer did get up this far, so all the flower stalk heads, they nibbled right off. Not in the back. Couldn't quite reach over there. So, you can see right up there. A couple of them survived. It's still plenty of leaves. They really don't seem to like the old leaves at all. But in the center here, just munching to about there. And they did leave a couple, or those weren't quite far enough along. So it's certainly not a total loss, but it's aggravating. They're coming right up here, right next to the vehicles, and the dogs tend to at night pee right out in front here, and they don't seem to be deterred by the dogs. Hazelnuts, lots and lots of hazelnuts through here. So one. If I don't go this way, then I'm going to forget. And why would I not treat you to these beautiful Sweet Williams over here? Absolutely the best of the bunch. And this little garden here, I had forgotten that Dee planted squash in here as well. And this was so weedy that we couldn't even see it. I mean, we could see the corn getting up above the weeds, but all this grass had been working its way toward the center. And we just didn't have a chance to get in here because the access was all grown over. I don't think, what is it a morning glory? There's some kind of vine that you'll get like on mailboxes and stuff with flowers, and I think that's what this type of leaf is. This is not something we planted. I just pulled this big ugly weed thing out of here, and we're going to thin back quite a bit on the mint, maybe move some of it somewhere else where it's going to do a little better, just to give that hydrangea some breathing room. But again, I can tell you right now from 2 weeks ago, this is the new growth here, because this was just starting to wrap around there. So it's doing great. This little sunflower in the front is getting ready to open. I don't know what that is. Another weed. Some of the daisies are starting to look old, but as you can see, we still have a lot of them, and I'll get some closer footage as we go down that way, because there's a lot of black-eyed Susans too. But let's check on the milkweed. I couldn't get a very good picture. I'm going to try to get down and get a better picture just to pop in a photo. The milkweed down my path is blossoming. Nice, lots of flower heads on it. This milkweed here, again, I'm not disturbed that it doesn't get a chance to flower. What I am disturbed about is this yellow. These leaves are just not looking happy. This one is. And these three were on a clump. That one was on a clump of 3. And this one down here in the back is still looking okay. It's just bent down. So I wanted to let it get established before I went in there and did a lot of weeding and disturbing the area around it. Maybe that'll be the answer. But hey, Sebastian, did I hear you come trotting through? I'll just walk a little bit over here so you can enjoy the daisies and the black-eyed Susans. And some of these weeds in here, whatever this stuff is, the deer like it because they've been chewing the tops off of those too. This one here they've chewed a couple of times and it's starting to grow off the sides. So it's not just my plants that they're going after. There's actually still a little bit of flowers left on that dogwood. Just a little bit over there. Letting this grow in, though, has been doing really good. So instead of this all being sandy, now we have a lot of clover mixed in, a lot of hardier stuff. Let's start fixing the soil. So the mulberry had been off to a slow start, and now it is thick as ever. Certainly thick enough for the birds to hide in there and do a nest. I don't think they have yet, but Right by my finger, if you can see up in there, there was just the starts of the mulberry. This was a great idea. Dee had to put the Sweet William in here and more of the marigolds and the sunflowers. And some of these sunflowers are all transplanted too. These weren't put in by seed. And already, I mean, this would have been a lot weedier if we'd planted vegetables than with these flowers in here. So that worked out well. Yeah, I think my dog took off again. All right, so I am putting the camera at my chest level and now at my eye level. So that's how high the bee balm is. And I think this is the more purple one on this side, but I'll zoom in a couple of angles. The red is already flowering on multiple levels of the flowers. We'll take a better look at that on the side, but all of these lilies here, all big clusters. And these look like these are the red ones on this side. There's a nice bee balm right up front here. And the wisteria finally started climbing up through here. And how far did I see it? Oh yeah, we're up through in here. So, and we did get Liacheus back. Talk about late to the party. So this group of wisteria down here must be on like a separate vine or just a separate bit, but we were waiting forever for it to show up on that. So again, here we have the bee balm starting down here, and then it's already got the second top up there starting. Some more through here. Beautiful campanula. The tiger lilies, they're taking their time, but they're getting so tall. And these are the banana lilies here, and they're getting pretty close to opening. Yeah, here comes the sun to put my shadow on things. But look at here in the center. Look who showed up a little early. Wild raspberries growing in on top of the Pachysandra over here. I'll go on this side so my shadow's behind. All these poppies growing in nice. Keeping happy company, the daisies, and look at all of these black-eyed Susans through here. Along with the tall clover. Happy customer, I'd say. Alright, so no, we have not gotten to clean this bed up yet. It is on the list. It was just, again, with the weather, we've been so far behind. We got to take care of the other gardens first, but this Sweet William in here, as well as, I'm not sure what these little wildflowers in here are, but they're sure nice with Sweet William. And Sweet William seems to do just fine despite there being all the weeds. Wow, the butterflies are really happy out here. This was what I was most sad about when I came out the other day. All of the mountain laurel is already just about played out. you kind of feel gypped when it's just a short period of time. What's funny is this is that creeping vine stuff, and the deer will eat the hosta, right, the flower buds, and they'll completely leave this stuff. There's a little thistle here that we've been letting grow. It's starting to get flower heads in there too. Actually managed to get some flowers off of this hosta, despite having almost no leaves left. And here's this stuff. It's almost like cotton candy. And the bees really love it. I've seen a number of different types of bees on there. But yeah, not even sure what it is. Hi, Sebastian. Hey, over here in the flower gardens. Come here. Hey, Sebastian, come. Oh, treats in my pocket. Boy. Good boy. Hey, where you been? We're doing a video, child. Come on. You can finish up if you want. There you go. We were walking down the trail the other day, and I was stopping. I was trying to get a picture of the milkweed, and they were just sniffing. And I just happened to notice down the woods there's a deer standing down the trail just watching us. Lit up, all golden in the sunshine. And I was thinking afterwards, I wonder if the deer thought that I was walking a deer, because it was only a little bit bigger than him and almost the same color. He's just curly. This hydrangea is very happy and healthy. This is where we're doing a lot of focus this morning. Oh, no! I hope that didn't break, child. Let me just go check quick in case there's glass there. Please tell me you didn't shatter that dish. Okay, no, it looks intact. Well, if we didn't have it on video, I could lie to your mom and say that I did an oops, but now she's going to see you were putting your paw on there. So we were clearing out some of the lower branches there and just some of the new sapling growth that's been coming up through here. And this is why it's actually not that hard to garden up here. As long as you get stuff that belongs up here and does well, it's going to grow, it's going to thrive. Everything grows and thrives up here because it's such a struggle, I think, for the short period of time that stuff just grabs all the extra moisture it gets and then holds on to it tight. And there's so much weed and overgrowth that it helps hold a lot of moisture in the soil. So the bigger challenge isn't for us getting stuff to grow, it's keeping stuff thinned back and under control. The donkeys have only been gone about a month, and the whole front of that forsythia is coming back now. They would reach over the top of the fence and just trim it, so we had like half a tree or a shrub. So, as you can see, these lilies back here are all really fully in bloom. It's a great view from the kitchen window. And the bee balm here are just starting to get a little bit. And the hosta's doing really good. These flowers are getting close to opening. Hey, goofball. Hey. You keep moving. I'm trying to see how to do a thing. Hummingbird. Doggies in the background. Okay. Oh, all right. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by my beautiful boy. So those are some foamy bells. they were kind of leaning down quite a bit too. The water has just been so heavy on everything. Unfortunately, the peony in 2 weeks, completely gone. But it's time for other things. We're still getting lots of new flowers on the clematis, even though the plant doesn't look super happy. But it's reaches far, all the way down here. And in the 2 weeks time, I'm glad I had gotten that video of the roses, because the very next day the rain took those out, and then we had another 1 or 2 on here over the last couple of weeks, and the rain took that as well. So purple dragon still flowering nice and strong back here. Deer have not come back to get the hosta, and lots of blooms all up on there, getting ready. The geranium flowering again. So I don't know if you're used to watching, so it's actually pretty cloudy now, but looking back here you can just see a lot more light getting through, and a lot of it was the low branches on a hemlock. But there's also some maple, 1 or 2 oak, and now just more light and less bugs. This area to hide in. And oh yeah, so this elephant ear hosta is getting a flower bud on it too. We can go in and take our look at the garden. Alright, so we'll take a look over here. Still nothing on the sweet potatoes, but it is in there. It's not rotted. We checked on it. And the little sweet Williams, taking their time, but some of these guys here are getting a little bigger. So some tiny ones down here. Those over there, those are the weeds that are spreading. Not sure if you could see, it almost looks like a seashore here with the washboarding. Just showing the amount of water and rain that we've been getting. We had some more heavy rain again last night, and more storms expected today. However, despite that, the pumpkins are doing fantastic. Everybody's growing big. Everybody is getting both male and female flower buds on them, and we've already had a couple of male flowers open this week. Got another one up in here. And this is the corn that we transplanted from back behind the shed. It's much happier over here with the direct sun. Another flower back in there. Another one getting ready to open. A lot of female flowers, and the pumpkin vines were already starting too. Now, look at these potatoes. So I think 2 weeks ago these were about up to my knee. Now these are about at my hip and even a little bit higher. And again, these are the Yukon Gold in the front. They're actually starting to get a little bit of flowering up there. And the red ones in the back are also flowering. And actually quite a pretty flower on there. These are the banana peppers. Lots of little flowers on there. All along. And this one first pepper that had started. It's already a good size there for a bell pepper. You got pushed over a little bit, buddy. Getting a little heavy. Yeah, it's so wet. up in here. All right, moving along. Eggplant's doing good. It's getting up a lot higher, and this one is the highest of the row. Still getting a lot of flowers, but no actual eggplants yet. And we have this row here of cucumbers. All of them are starting to get either little flower bits in there and pushing off little vines off the edges, and even some baby cucumbers. And the marigold's finally open. And our tomato here, I think we're going to want you to start leaning in to there, buddy. We're going to have to start tying that up. But we have 3 tomatoes down there, another little one right up in there. Started some more flowers. Sunflowers over here on the edge. And this marigold here, it did not tip over. It's actually getting pulled by the cucumber vines, because on this side these cucumbers are really going to town. So this plant here is all the way over to here and getting flowers down in there. And I wanted to try pulling these up on the trellis. Some of them are actually grabbing onto the trellis. You can see down there in the corner. But they started running along the ground first, and now they're wrapping around some sunflowers and other plants. So I may have to intervene with some twine to kind of retrain them a little bit. Not pull them up off the ground, but keep further growth going up if possible. So this is the bigger sunflower patch. And as you can see, there's already clearly different varieties in here. Some with the rounder leaves, some with a little more tips on them, some bigger, some taller. And there's that straight sunflower there. Working back around, and you can see a lot of the grass and stuff is starting to grow in here. So celery is probably doing the best out of everything. A little too much shade over there for the cabbage. That in addition to the wet. This cabbage is doing better. It's slow. I mean, cabbage is always slow for us. But unfortunately, this broccoli here, tiny little head, and it already started flowering. And something broke the tip there too. But that's how it's been. I mean, it started, growing, and then we get a 3-day heat wave. So yeah, this cabbage here, got to get these ground leaves on the ground up. This mid sunflower patch here isn't too bad. This was the one that was looking the most sad. But yeah, what we really needed was some sun. We came through last night, we were cleaning up the lettuce patch. A lot of the leaves on the ground. We got so much water through here that it just raised like a mud and silt layer up to anything that was low. And they had been kind of not happy to begin with because, again, all the wet and cold. But everything perked up with the sun, so we're going to start harvesting from the top and keep the ground leaves trimmed. And some big sunflowers back here are already starting too, although this one here the bugs have really been nibbling at. But I'm not sure if it comes across just how fine and silty that is. That's all just from the water carrying all this dark soil down and away over there, because it's a little bit lower. So everything coming off the back of the donkey shed there. Again, you can see it in steps going out over that way. So we've been doing a lot of talking and comparing notes. And we're going to get some of the bigger raised beds for next year so we can still use this area, but just to keep safe from all of the unpredictable water. We were thinking it was good that we have a good, water storage area up here that we can pull off the roof barn. Just put it into some big buckets to have so if we get a drought later in the season. But that's also basically a miniature river source, that much roof area and a downpour. So that's some more buttercorn or butternut squash back there, and that's actually doing pretty good, especially in the front area. It does get some morning sun through there, a little bit more in the afternoon. As you can see just above those cherry trees there, that's still plenty of sunlight in the afternoon. And because that's higher, that corner is actually a little bit higher than this side of the shed, so the water immediately drains away from there, so it's not sitting in it as much. So right to left we got sunflowers doing good, and back through here we have these lighter leaves. Here are all the red runner beans mixed in with nasturtium, and now you can really see the difference in the leaves and the color. And the red runner beans are certainly grabbing on, trailing up here, already all the way up to here, and then over here too. So this is a pretty good, simple idea. I mean, it was a little heavy to get up there, but luckily I had some nails hooked from the Christmas decorations we had a couple of years ago on there. And once I got it up, it was fairly stiff, and I just hooked it, and then I could get the ladder next to it. Been looking for guano. I got to get the ladder out too. I got this spray to put on there. It's a bat pheromone. And oh yeah, we do. Dee was telling me that she must have spilled a couple of beans when she was planting, and sure enough, a couple of the red runner beans. Right there's your bean pod. So they'll actually get a little bit of morning sun here, and then in the afternoon, if we move the chairos, it'll get some too. But yeah, so that's the vegetable garden. It's doing good. I mean, no one can really say with the weather, but what you're gonna get. And like I said, we've talked about how we're gonna mitigate some of the flooding and bad ground contact. I mean, obviously the potatoes can do just fine, and those will be easy enough to mound up year to year. We'll still keep the arch, and maybe we'll put, the raised beds on the side of the arch so the stuff can still climb along there. We'll do along there, but like in the middle and in the back there. I still think the lettuce is happy with it being cooler and, not getting the full sun for the whole day. So we'll just put a raised bed back there. And we're going to see what the thunderstorms look like today. This is a nice thunderstormy evening. Last night it was all very still, and we were out doing some weeding. And surprisingly, the bugs weren't bad. Just hearing that thunder in the distance. All right, let me go finish up the video here. And these sunflowers here, I think not quite enough sun for them. Looking weak. Those were transplanted too, and oh, I didn't take a look. I think there's some blueberries back there. So these are not blueberries. This is just a wild thing that has always grown back here, but they get blueberries on them that look more like blueberries than the wild blueberries up here look like blueberries. And don't be eating any strange berries, child. Yeah, I did some more clearing through here. We had cut down a maple, and it was starting to grow back. So a lot of trimming just to get more light back here, and again to help keep it a little drier with the sun we get. So big story here is nasturtium, and this is all kind of laying down right now because there was a hemlock growing up here, and it's probably about not quite chest height, and the hemlock had already been leaning on it and kind of stretching with it, a little bit bigger than that white pine back there. So that's the only reason it doesn't look happy, but this is very happy, very strong and vigorous growth over here. Same down here. The vine is going all the way into the bench, just past there, stretching out for the sun. The ones down there. Well, let me get in here and see if I can find yeah, we got some ripe blueberries back here, right over by my finger there. Teeny tiny little guys. Those are actual wild blueberries. And this, what are you? You are a something planted. Yeah, so you got another moose maple back here to trim. Fountain has been holding up better. Don't wander off again, child. Yeah, using nasturtium here. Flower's kind of getting low. But this one here, vine coming down the bottom, stretching all the way up under the rock, coming over the rock, over the sign, reaching out. And there it is. So that's 2 weeks worth. And remember I told you to keep track on the vinca vine. Wow, it is. I hope this whole thing is not going to be this dim here. Please tell me that that wasn't all dim for that whole session. But this vinca vine is now dragging on the ground. That's how tall that is. And I'm going to go and take another quick step back up here, just in case that's what happened, so you can see in better light everything I was talking about. I think I was trying to press the screen to get screen capture of Sebastian, and I was getting the contrast instead. So you just get a little bit longer to stroll through the garden. Yeah, I think it started back here. So we'll just come around again. Yeah, so I'm hoping I'm going to have time this afternoon. It's very muggy, but it's not hot. Just get up and get caught up on some other stuff. Mostly them big clouds like that around, but still broken up. I can work with that. It seems to be around 4 o'clock or so is when they're saying to really expect some heavy thunderstorm and stuff. So, Sebastian! Come! Alright, so, yeah. A lot of string trimming up there. I haven't addressed any of that at all. And the old garlic patch. I'm just going to completely string trim all that down. But at least get the truck emptied. Make room for more. And keep trimming. And if I have enough time, the grass dries out a little bit before the storms. Maybe I'll try and get out and mow. And then we'll see what we got to do tomorrow. But thanks for watching. I will try to get another video out in a week's time, because like I said, this time of year, 2 weeks, a lot happens. But thanks for watching, and feel free to yell at Sebastian in the comments for not coming and closing out the video. I miss you, kitty. Don't get down, baby. You can go in the mini truck if you want. It's okay. Sure you can. Hi, honey. Oh. Who's a sweetheart? Yes, you are, baby. You're so sweet. You got the boys all upset because you were in the mini truck, and I don't know why, because they don't go in there. You go find your mama? Where's your mama? Go find your mama. Look at that. What a sweetheart. Yeah, you checking out your garden? Thank you for doing the mousing today. I really appreciate it. What a good boy. What a precious sweetheart. You can go in the mini truck anytime you want, and if you want to learn to drive it, you tell me. Okay? We'll do some lessons. You can run over the squirrels.